Hey everyone, welcome to Nerds Talk. I'm Mike.
And I'm Chris.
Today we're going to be discussing the Apple event that happened on Tuesday, September the 10th, as well as give you our thoughts on that, discuss all the announcements, and then follow up with the surprise Nintendo announcement that happened today, September 12th. So with that being said, just a quick housekeeping. If you'd like to support us, please feel free to subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear from you. Send us an email, drop a comment below, like the video or dislike it depending on your thoughts. And with that being said, let's get straight to the topic at hand.
Awesome.
So the Apple event happened, like I said, on Tuesday, September 10th, and they discussed a bunch of new products. We have new iPhones, new Apple Watch, new subscription services, new iPads. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely. It was. Apple always does this every September.
Yeah.
They do their annual launch announcements. But they did announce a couple of new kind of features and subscriptions that they are dabbling into for the first time. So that's interesting as well.
I didn't expect it. I guess in the invitations that people had gotten there, I guess there was some stuff alluding to Apple Arcade and stuff. But for me, it was like, wow, I did not expect this. They're really trying to, I guess, compete with, Google, in this case, Google Stadia.
Yeah.
Although Google Stadia seems to be like a more in line with the Xbox and PlayStation type of games where you use a controller, and this is more of a more professional mobile experience.
Correct.
Would you agree?
I agree.
So why don't you get into the details for our audience here as to what each of these are, and we'll discuss it in detail.
Sounds good. So the first thing that they announced was the Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a monthly fee that you pay, $4.99 US.
Okay.
For the family, and it gives you access to any game on that platform. And they will be adding more games monthly, supposedly. So that should be good. It should be constantly updating.
Okay.
They have a couple big names already. Let's see. Capcom was one of them. They showed a deep sea kind of game, which was interesting, a little bit different. You had to recharge your oxygen and battle different creatures, which was nice. Konami. They brought back Frogger.
A new version of it, though.
Version, yeah, with a big baby in it, some different aspects to it. So that's interesting. I mean, it's a great game. I always enjoyed playing it, and I might dabble and see how that one looks on the iPhone.
Yeah.
And then there was also like a Wild Hearts game, I guess it was. It's like a dance video arcade game, which seemed kind of interesting. So you're flying around and running around trying to get different stars to get you faster and win your hearts back, I guess. So
okay.
So they displayed a couple of different gameplays and stuff like that in the footage. It looked all right. I mean, I've never been a huge mobile game player, to be honest. I mean, I have my go-to Pokemon Go, a couple of Harry Potter things and stuff like that. But it looks different and interesting. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get the market that they're hoping for. But it'll be interesting to see if it catches on.
So I have a couple questions. I don't know if they discuss this or not. Maybe you can shed some light if you have the details. But basically, so we know it's a subscription service, a la Netflix. You mentioned $5 US a month, essentially, for the family. So that's great. Now they don't have any in-app purchases or any what do you call it,
like in-game extra
gotcha
money,
games, that kind of stuff. These are full-blown games, no advertisements, no ads, nothing like that. Is that the case? Did you hear about that?
They haven't specified anything, but I would assume if you're paying a monthly fee that there would be no ads, no in-game fees,
you get the full
stuff
game.
like that. You get the full game and full features.
So for that price, it's worth it, considering you can get some decent games on the App Store for between $3 and $7 depending on the game, to get it all ad free, full game, unlock, whatnot. And so for that $5 a month, then you're getting essentially hundreds of games. That sounds really great. The visuals look great off the games that they showcase, and these are high-end developers that make professional games on consoles.
Exactly.
Capcom, Konami, and whatnot. So we know that the development, the type of games are definitely going to be a lot better than the standard mobile games that are on the market today, the ones that you see for free or 99 cents or something like that. So I appreciate that. My question is you have the subscription, you have access to these games. If you decide, okay, I'm done with the subscription, are you able to buy these games outright if you want to keep playing them? No
They didn't
details.
specify, but I would assume that you wouldn't be able to just buy them out. You'd have to have the
You have
subscription.
So in other words, if you're not a part of the plan, you can't just go on the App Store, find the game, and buy it full pot for $10 or something. They won't do that
I would assume that's the way that they're going to try and keep everyone paying that monthly subscription.
for those games.
Yeah, just to keep them hooked in there. My biggest question is, what other developers are they going to bring in? They have those three big names. They showed a
showcase
page
a lot.
of a lot. But a lot of them are just independent, smaller developers right now.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if any other big developers will try and jump in when it's early, get their name out there, get a bunch of games out there, and then try and work off that. So
it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
No, they didn't announce obviously any controllers or anything like that. They want you to use be able to play it on any of your devices, whether it's your iPad, your iPhone, your Mac, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing I didn't like about a lot of games that use the virtual controller to move the guys around. It just without the feel of the buttons, not knowing where they are, you're not sure if you're hitting it, so you're constantly looking at that and not looking at the gameplay.
Yeah.
So let's see how well these top end developers have fixed that issue, or is it still an issue? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I would assume the touch is still going to be off, not actually feeling the movements of the controller. I think I don't know if there's a way of fixing that from a touch screen.
I think the price is great for what you get, especially if you have a family of 3 or 4. Great for all of you to experience the games and all that stuff and play on the TV, Apple TV, all that kind of stuff. It's great. The games so far look interesting, but I'll have to wait and see as far as like if I want to buy the game outright, if that's an option, and or what the situation is can you connect a controller? Will that support that kind of stuff?
Yeah. The great thing is they're giving a 1-month free trial. So you can test out the game, see if you like it, see if this is for you.
Okay.
And then it will be available September 19th. So it will be very soon.
Next week.
You can test it out and try it out for a month and then see if it's your cup of tea.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool.
Another thing they announced, another subscription, was Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
So that launches November 1st and is also $4.99 US for the family. So
very good.
They're competing against Netflix, Disney Plus,
the name,
Hulu,
Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus.
Exactly. So they're going below what Disney Plus has announced what they're releasing at, which is smart. They're including it as like an all-inclusive, all your family can use it, so it's not per subscriber, which is also smart, trying to get people drawn in to see what they can get for it. It does look very interesting and appealing. They talked about 3 of their exclusive shows, All for Mankind, Dickinson, and The Morning Show.
The Morning Show, I haven't seen the trailer.
So they have some big names in that one.
Yes, and that looks very, just from the names,
yeah,
I was like, this looks like it could be a funny comedy show.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen the trailer, but they boasted like it's the most watched TV trailer like ever online
on
or
YouTube.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I can imagine. So what's the cast look like?
So they have a lot of big names. They have Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, and Steve Carell in that one.
Awesome.
They also showcased a trailer, a big trailer for C.
Yes.
It stars Jason Momoa.
That one looked pretty interesting.
So that's another big name.
And that's a show, not a movie.
That's a show.
The trailer made me think this is a movie, and it was
They
a show.
could have made that into a movie, it looks like, but they decided to go the show route. So maybe, if it catches on, they can go different seasons and expand it that way.
Awesome.
And kind of make it, one of their premium exclusives. And then it looks like on the thumbnails that there's going to be an Oprah show. So they're going to have some big players doing shows for them on their network. So,
and these are all exclusive.
These are all exclusive.
So Apple exclusive. So here's the thing. So for $5 a month, just those 2 shows, C and The Morning Show, I would like, that's worth the $5 for me.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, the lineup, you mentioned 3 big ones. They added C as a surprise. We saw some thumbnails for some other things. It didn't seem like, and maybe that's why the price is low, that there is a lot available.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 to 10 options initially, and they promised more to come
every month.
Every month.
They said more content will come every month. The thumbnails looked about 16 shows that they're showcasing right now,
and that's a variety from like cartoon to like documentary.
So they had Snoopy on there, it looked like, and a couple other shows. But so I mean, some of the exclusives Jennifer Aniston hasn't done a TV show since Friends.
Yeah.
So it'll be great to see her back on the small screen. And Steve Carell's always good. Reese Witherspoon, Jason Momoa. A lot of female are gonna like watching that show. So it'll be interesting. I mean, for the price, and And I mean, if you're looking to buy a new Apple product, Apple TV or any other product, you get 1 year free included.
Okay, so that's with any of the latest announced products at this event. You buy it, you get a year's subscription and try out. And again, you can watch this on any of your devices, the Apple TV, your phone, your tablet, your Mac, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So it's great. You can have those options of taking it on the go or watching it at home. So
Now, I wonder if the subscription will work on like just your regular smart TV. Like if you have a Samsung TV with the Apple TV app or something like that, will it allow you to watch it, or do you have to have one of their devices? I'm curious.
that'll be interesting. I mean, I would assume it has to be on one of their devices, and they're going to try and push the Apple TV boxes.
Okay.
To try and get that, try and get over Google's Chromecast and other Android devices and such.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so those were the two subscriptions that they announced, and both low prices, trying to get people in, get that customer base, and then maybe they'll pull a Netflix and start bumping up their prices. But for now, they're just trying to get people in and compete.
That's it.
Against the big names.
That's it. $5 for the family, and again, well, I mean, Netflix and stuff is for the family. I don't know.
Yeah.
If there's a limit to how many screens can be watching at the same time, or
I believe it's
big your family
six, and it's about $18 a month Canadian for that subscription.
Yeah. So for Apple, you basically, if you have a family plan, I don't think there's a limit of how many phones you can have in that.
I don't believe so.
If you have 6 kids or whatever, just whatever you need.
Put up them on all your devices. So the more Apple products, I'm sure they'll be happy you have.
You have it to go. So that's pretty cool. So I haven't seen the morning show trailer. I'm going to be watching that later on today, but definitely check out the C trailer. That looked really, really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And a nice little twist on the show too. Something kind of different. So it's cool to see that. So another product that they did was the Apple Watch.
Okay.
So again, it will be in the 40 and 44 millimeter options for sizes.
Okay.
There's different materials that you can pick from: aluminum, stainless steel, ceramic, and titanium. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you get to choose the different bands which you want. So that causes big variations in prices. They go anywhere from, I think, $530 Canadian to $1,500 if you want the leather bands and
the titanium
and the titanium and high materials. So it's a wide range. They have a lot of different features to it. So the display never sleeps. So
yes, that's a new feature.
On that. Yeah.
So they talked about that. So when they first announced it, I was like, oh, battery life. But then they discussed how they're doing that.
Yeah.
They have the refresh rate from 60 hertz down to 1 hertz. So you're basically, instead of refreshing 60 times a second, you're refreshing 1 time a second. So that is going to conserve battery huge, because you're not displaying the image 60 times every second. You're doing it once. Yeah. And so it also, because it is still refreshing every second, you're not going to get any burn in on your watch. So that's a very smart way of doing it. It is a watch. You're not watching TV shows on it. So 1 hertz is more than sufficient.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they have a bunch of different features. I know they did a nice story and showed a bunch of people talking about how past Apple Watches have saved their lives.
Yes.
With the heart rate feature and the EKG.
Very moving.
Yeah. Feature. I mean, I know a lot of people in the crowd were brought to tears, and a lot of people watching the videos were brought to tears. So, I mean, that's a huge selling feature for me. I mean, to just show any irregularities in your heart rate or anything like that. I know there's a little note that says it does not account for heart attacks or display or warrant for heart attacks. So I love that they have to put that little disclaimer on there. But
yet there was a specific kid who talked about being saved from a heart attack based on the early warning signs of different. And he said he'd probably have a heart attack within 12 months, but because of the Apple Watch, he was able to get it checked out and solved.
Which was wonderful.
Yep.
So that's one of the features that they have. They have the menstrual cycle for the females.
Yep.
They also have the decibels. So if you're in an area that's too loud, it will warn you that the decibels could affect your hearing and damage your hearing.
Yes.
So that's another kind of health feature that they're adding to their watches to help protect yourself.
Which is really smart, especially nowadays with like headphones and wireless earmuffs and stuff. And you have your kids, you don't know what they're listening to, how loud they're listening to, and long-term effects on hearing. A lot of people don't think of that, right? It's just sound to sound. Exactly. But if there's a way to prevent having hearing loss and having hearing aids and all these other things, that's a great prevention. So I mean, I was thinking, what else could they do besides the heart? But this is a great
Yeah,
absolutely great thing that can help
they're
people.
kind of looking outside the box to try and find different features that people might be interested in, and will help people's health
Yeah.
in different ways. So I think they're great. I've always liked their watches, and this one piques my interest as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how the sales go for that.
Absolutely.
530 or whatever it may be Canadian is a decent starting price for that kind of watch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's always been a little bit high end cost for all their watches, but that's just the Apple way.
That's the Apple way.
Yeah. I guess a couple other things was a new iPad.
Yes.
So that one, let's see here.
I have the comparisons here.
Oh, perfect.
For the iPads.
So the Pro run about for the 64 gig, 1380 Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the 256 is 15.
Sorry, that's the iPhones you're looking at.
Oh, sorry.
Not the iPads. No problem. Just want to make sure I was looking at the price.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here's the iPads.
Okay.
So the 32 is 430 Canadian.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The 128 is 550 Canadian. And then if you want the Wi-Fi, that was just for 3G.
Mm-hmm.
The prices are $430 again, and then $600.
Okay.
So not too bad in pricing. So it's not the Pro or anything like that, but it's just the next step in the new iPads.
Yeah. And so as far as new features, I didn't see anything new other than like the iPad OS.
Yes.
They were talking about some new features to allow you to multitask a lot better, quality of life improvements, allowing you to get more real estate on your screen, be able to do more things at once or see more things at once, which is really cool. As always, better screen, better battery life, new chip, A10 chip now. I didn't see anything huge other than the fact that, again, they're showcasing the keyboard and the pen and how they sync with the smart dock and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were saying that this new iPad, which is the standard iPad, so not the Air and not the Pro.
Correct.
It basically is, what do they say? It's the best selling product. Like that SKU is the best selling product, and now you're basically getting a lot of the features from the Pro in the iPad default. So you basically get that nice size.
Yeah.
So the size is now 10.2 inches.
Correct.
Which the one I have here, this is so that's they're now on the Gen 7. This is a Gen 5. This is a 9.6 or something like that. So it's basically gone up, 5 inches, 6 inches or so, 0.6 inches. So it's not bad for, I guess, more screen real estate. The Pro is 12.9 is the largest one, and then they have an 11-inch Pro. So you're getting pretty close to the Pro size, while still getting the small form factor. Obviously, a much smaller price,
cheaper
like you said.
price, definitely.
So it seems like the way to go for the person who just wants an iPad,
yeah,
and still do a lot of the work you can do with a Pro, like use the pencil and stuff.
Exactly. And they have a different decent sizes. I mean, 128 is decent for most people. Using it for what they need, mostly recreational.
Yeah, you're only getting the 512 and the 1 terabyte and stuff if you're getting the Pro, which
Correct.
Again, that's because you're going to be doing a lot of art, a lot of projects, a lot of saving big files and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's taking over your laptop pretty much that way.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But nothing else really big that surprised me, right?
No, me neither. It was kind of a lower key kind of announcement, but just announcing the next model.
Okay.
Pretty much. And then the new iPhone 11.
Yes.
That seems more interesting. And so they came out with 3 options: the iPhone 11, the 11 Pro, and then the 11 Pro Max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the pricing for the 11 starts at $980 Canadian for the 64. The 128 is $1050 Canadian, and then the 256 is $1190 Canadian, and that's just for the standard 11. And then the 11 Pro for the 64 is $1380 Canadian. The 256 is $1590 Canadian, and the 512, which is also a good size amount for a phone, is going to run you $1860 Canadian plus taxes. So it does go up quite a bit. And then the last one, the Pro Max, you're looking at $1520 for the 64, For the 256, you're looking at 1730 Canadian, and then finally the 512 gigabytes is just about $2,000.
$2,000 for a phone, like that's just blows me away. I'm like,
a bit nutty.
It's a laptop. Like,
Yeah.
I understand that these phones are computers, but I mean, you can get phones for under $1,000 that does all the features. You're basically paying for the camera features. I mean, I have the specs breakdown here, and for the most part, the stuff is the same. What you're really paying for is the cameras and the camera features that you get with that.
Correct.
And obviously the capacity, because there's more capacity on the Pro than you can get with the regular. So just a comparison, they both start at 64 gigs, but the 11 brought back to 128. So with the 8, you only got 64 and 256 gig as your options.
Correct.
They now brought back the 128 gig SKU. But with the Pro, it's still sticking with the 64 and 256, and now they added the 512. And it's because, again, it's going to be your enthusiasts, those who are all about the cameras, about taking video, doing that sort of thing, video editing and photo editing. That's what this phone is designed for. It's a professional's tool. So you have to think of it as, instead of buying an SLR, you're buying the phone as your camera, plus it's a phone.
Yeah.
But still, I still think 2000 is a pretty tough pill to swallow,
and especially because a lot of the Androids already have similar features, if not all the features, and camera for a while, and for a cheaper price. So Apple's kind of behind in this, in their phones. I find they're just 2 steps behind on all the Androids, unfortunately, and they're kind of losing the market that way.
Absolutely. So with the 11 standard, you get the ultra wide and wide cameras. Okay. Now with the Pro, they're adding a telephoto lens in there as well. The cool thing with the Pro is that you can actually record all 3 lenses at the same time. So you get 3 different angles on the same shot. What they were talking about for movie producers, for example, it's going to save you takes, because then you get one good take, but you can get multiple angles, and
you can edit it with
quick edit.
The same footage, but different angles, in, out, wide angles and stuff.
And every single camera is 4K 60 frames per second. And then they added on the selfie cam, the slow-mo feature. They talked about that. Now, that I'm pretty sure is only on the Pro.
Only on the Pro, I believe, is what I heard.
So they have that as well. Again, really trying to sell the camera features and whatnot. They also have like a night vision ability,
which also has been on Androids for a while. But it's funny.
So that's great. If you want to compare, again, the basic model to the Pro, just to kind of give you guys an idea, the battery life, you're looking at about 17 hours of video playback on the regular 11 and 18 on the Pro. And if we switch that to the Pro Max, it's about 20 hours of playback. The display, so this is very interesting. So the what's it called? The 11 Pro, the default SKU, the 11 Pro, not the Max, has a smaller screen than just the 11. The 11 has a 6.1 inch screen, whereas the 11 Pro has a 5.8 inch. Only the Pro Max has bigger at 6.5. So if you want that middle spot, you get the regular 11, which costs less money. You're just missing out on the extra camera, basically. So it's obviously a better screen. It's OLED. And then as far as the water resistance, the main difference is the Pros can go 2 meters deeper than the standard 11, up to 4 meters basically for 30 minutes. Materials and finish. The Pros come with a stainless steel finish, whereas the 11 comes with aluminum. And then there is a brand new color that's introduced only in the Pro, the midnight green, which I actually thought looked pretty sleek.
Yeah, it's a little different.
As a blue being my favorite color, I really like the look of the midnight green. When they first displayed it, I'm like, okay, this is space gray. And they're like, oh, this is green. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So when you compare the space gray and the green, it really does.
Tell the difference.
And it still looks very professional, but gives it a little bit of personality. So I did like that feature. We talked about capacity. So again, it comes down to, if you're buying the phone, if you're huge with a camera, you're huge with video, then that might be the phone for you. It gives you all the features of the original 11, but giving you a little bit more. So if you have got the money to spend, or if you're looking at buying an SLR camera and you also need a phone, then this might be the option for you. If money wasn't an object, which one would you be going for, the 11 or the 11 Pro or the 11 Pro Max?
I'd go with the 11 Pro Max.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I like the 11 Pro. I just don't know if I go with the Max, that massive, like 6.5 inch, that's really, really big. Like as it was when I jumped for the 8 Plus, it was big enough.
I love my 8
I'm used to it, but this is bigger than this. The 6.5 is bigger than this.
I can go bigger.
You can go bigger.
I can go bigger. I have the pocket size to go bigger.
So you're good to go.
I'm good to go. I love, especially with emails and looking at pictures and trying to edit different things. I find bigger is better.
Okay.
I mean, the old phrase.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like a phablet, like a tablet phone mix.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. So I will go with the Max.
Absolutely.
Pro.
Now, the two cameras on the 11, they're not the same ones that are on the Plus, right?
No,
We
the
do have
Plus.
two cameras.
So the Plus is different than the 11, I believe.
Yeah, it's not like a wide and a regular. It's pretty much, they're both the same lenses. It's just to kind of get you that portrait mode, the proper lighting and all that stuff, where this is actually, the 11 is two different lenses, wide and ultra wide. The ultra wide is new.
Yeah.
And then the telephoto is new to the Max. So
Yeah.
even if you want to stick with just a two camera system, the 11 does still give you a big improvement from a camera perspective over the last generation X and 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty interesting. I was impressed with the phones. I was impressed with the watch. I like the arcade.
Yeah.
And the TV Plus had some excellent
Apple TV
exclusives.
Plus is definitely interesting. Speaking my, it makes it hard now. You gotta kind of do your research to figure out what's going to be added, the cost per month. Do you want to go with one? Do you want to go with two?
Yep.
And then trying to figure out what works for your family and yourself. So
overall, it was I think the conference was pretty cool in the way that it was done. I don't think it was paced the best way that I like when I watch my video game conferences, but I did think, again, they covered a wide variety of consumers for each product, you know, how it would work in different situations, so that was cool. I did find that it was trailer overload, where it was, I think the phone had like 7 different trailers showcasing different features.
There's a lot of
it was a little
fillers
extra.
Yeah.
They could have narrowed it down to like 3 really big ones that kind of get to the point of each feature. But overall, I like the tech that was presented. I was really impressed, more so than last year's.
Yeah.
So great on Apple. You know, the prices just keep getting more and more outrageous compared to what you get from other similar products. But they do have, at least from my experience, a decent record with quality.
Yeah, and the customer service I found has always been good, whether it's in store or over the phone or online. So that's an added bonus that you're kind of paying behind the scenes up front. So
yep. Any other comments on the Apple event? Anything else you wanted to cover?
No, I just agree. There's a lot of kind of filler and look at these visual designs and logos going through, and then they could have sped it up, got to the point.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, and then to round out our video, Nintendo had a little surprise outing that came out today. They had a trailer drop last week after their Nintendo Direct. I think it was a couple days after, showcasing what looked like a bunch of different aged people, more on the adult side, doing some sort of exercise with a weird peripheral. It looked like a ring or a circular device. Yeah. And they didn't showcase what they were watching, what they were looking at, just that they were doing activities with this ring. So first thoughts were, okay, we're talking about Wii Fit, we're getting back to the exercise, this is what it's all coming down to, their health, Nintendo's health initiative, if you will. Well, today they finally showcased exactly what it was. It is a brand new game and product that is coming out, and yes, I did say game, whereas Wii Fit was a game in the sense that it had a bunch of exercises and mini games that you could use in order to get fit and have fun. Exactly. This is a game first with some extra mini games and stuff that kind of reminisce to what the Wii Fit was back in the olden days there. But basically, they announced what they called the Nintendo Ring. Or the Switch Ring, and the Switch leg band.
Yeah, so the Ring Con and the leg strap.
Ring Con, there you go, on the leg strap.
And leg strap.
Which are the peripherals used for the new game called Ring Fit Adventure.
Correct.
So this is a game where you're basically going on an adventure, you're fighting monsters, you're leveling up, true RPG style, and your attacks are all done by using this peripheral in different ways. And it's basically using upper body strength, or upper body exercises, lower body exercises, core and yoga, so stretches and things like that. And
each boss kind of has a little logo that is weak to whatever, yoga, core, upper body or lower body.
Absolutely.
So you have to pick your proper attack for that situation.
Yes, and you can choose which exercise you want to do based on, obviously, yourself, your strengths. You might be really good at one and not so good at the other. Yeah. So you can pick and choose different ones. And so it's a very unique way of getting someone to exercise while still playing a game. And I mean a game in the sense that there's levels, you're exploring, you're traveling, you're running, you're jumping over things, you're fighting, you're upgrading. So I thought that was really cool in how they're implementing it. like to shoot a bow and arrow. They had like a
Yeah,
pullback
pull
and the
back.
tension and stuff. I'm like, that's pretty cool. To kind of try to give you that immersion while still giving you exercise and trying to get people off the couch and finding a way to burn calories. That's not like a chore. That same, okay,
Have fun while you're
get on
doing
the
it.
treadmill and just run again. Here it is, 10 days in a row doing the same thing over and over.
Exactly.
This kind of changes it up. So I was really really intrigued by the trailer. The game is very basic, but it does look a lot better than the Labo games that they came out with, which also were very creative by design, but were very basic in implementation and in graphical quality and whatnot. So I thought that definitely was designed as a game first, and then how can we implement this in it. So I thought that was a really smart design. I didn't check the price out on it. I don't know if you checked the price on it.
I didn't see anything on price.
Okay, I don't know if they have it for pre-order yet.
Yeah.
But it does come out in November or October?
So it comes out October 18th
October 18th.
This year. So it comes with the game, the ring con, and the leg strap.
Yep.
So this is pretty much Wii Fit 2.0.
Yes.
I thought it was very smart that Nintendo went with the fitness area for Wii.
Yes.
They were the first gaming developer to really kind of go that route. It brought a lot of parents in to Nintendo because they wanted their kids to stay active but have fun doing it. And then they were also able to do it at the same time.
Yep.
So it worked great for both of them. So it worked great for Nintendo as well because the parents would buy the system. The kids would play the system, plus they would get to play other games on it and expand that way. So it was great that. And so when the Switch first came out, nothing was really there. I mean, even for the GameCube or the Wii Plus, right? Was it the Wii U?
The Wii U. Yep.
They didn't really have any fitness.
Yeah, they brought the balance board over. It's still compatible, and I think they did Wii Fit Plus, but I think that was still a Wii game, right?
Yeah.
Wii Fit Plus wasn't Wii U, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So they had Wii Fit, Wii Fit Plus, which I still think was Wii. Correct me if I'll have to get corrected if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, they didn't create, I don't think, a separate sequel game
for Wii U
on it. Yeah.
So then when the Switch came out, nothing really came out with it fitness wise, and now they're kind of going that route, which I think is very smart because again, there's not many or if any other game developers that are implementing a fitness aspect to it, especially in this day of age where fitness is becoming more and more prevalent and important, and kids are starting to realize that they need to do it, so they don't want to.
So it looks like if the articles that are coming up here are true, it's $79.99. So the price of a game, and you get the accessories obviously included with it. So it's a full price game, which I wouldn't expect less if you're getting these accessories. Not that the accessories look. I mean, the strap is literally a strap. It's the ring that actually seems to have tension, and they said you can adjust it.
It responds to force, and the leg strap responds to lower body movement. So it's good. I mean, it has electric. They said it was electric motion detector or something like that.
Yeah, and you can adjust based on your, if you've got disabilities and stuff like that. Adjust it based on the
sensitivity of your fitness.
Yeah, and if you're not very good at something, or obviously you're out of shape, so you might want to start at a lower tension, and then you can increase it.
Exactly. And they have side-by-side displays on how you're supposed to do the movements as well. So in case you're new to fitness or don't exercise very often, they also have little things where they can display proper form so you're not injuring yourself, and how to use the equipment that's included, which is absolutely very nice.
So it looks pretty cool. I'm intrigued. I think it'd be a fun thing to do with the kids, and great just to do another way to do exercise.
Exactly, for us and our kids, it's great for both of us, for all of us. So it's a great feature, and I mean, I don't know about you, but we had the Wii Plus or the Wii Fitness stuff when it came out, and used it and had the board. And
it's mostly yoga though.
Right? Yeah, I mean, some of the games were like kind of sports archery. There's some archery with the handhelds and different things, and the snowboarding with the board and skateboarding, balancing and stuff like that. But so kind of yoga. This is the first time they really kind of have restraints and kind of
more muscle based exercises. They still have the yoga, but yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see how it is in October.
Absolutely. So I think I want to give it a go. I don't know if I'll get it a full pop, but it's definitely something I want to give a try. So we'll have to see how we get our hands on that. But I mean, it was a nice surprise. Again, something for the casual audience, but yet still, I think the game itself kind of intrigues me as a more standard gamer who plays the more hardcore style games. I looks pretty interesting to me.
And I love that Nintendo's not making this their main feature. They're dropping these things, 7-minute videos, 10-minute videos after the fact, after their directs, and just saying, this is also what we're announcing, or this is also, here's some display of how it works and what we're, looking in the future.
Yeah.
So they don't make a huge deal about it. They just, silently kind of drop a video with the trailer and explain what it's all about.
And I think this was smart because when they first did this for the Labo last year, they made it a Nintendo Direct, and they said it's not for the hardcore. This is for the casual people. Are you a casual gamer? This is directed for you. And then they announced the Labo, and a lot of people are upset. What is this? The Nintendo Direct? Where are my games? So they've removed that moniker, and they're like, this is a Nintendo Direct. It's just the trailer that we're dropping, and so
after
there's no issues because we had our hardcore Direct, which was phenomenal last week. So now it's like, okay, now this is something else we're doing, and there's something else we're doing, and I think that's the smart way to do it.
Yeah,
people are still watches, people are still tuning in to see what's going on, and word of mouth will spread, and I'm sure they're gonna have demos and Toys R Us and things like that.
Exactly. I love that they're doing different, things. The Labo, they're trying to think outside the box. The first ones are going to fitness, different creations, getting the kids' minds, kind of like coding, how they're trying to, work the mind and the body, which is nice. So it's different for a developer, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, those are our thoughts, folks, on what we thought about the Apple event and the Nintendo Ring Fit Adventure. What are your thoughts? Were you excited at any of the announcements at the Apple event? Let us know in the comments below. As well as, what did you think of Nintendo's crazy announcement? Is that something that intrigues you? Is that something you definitely want to try? Or is that something you definitely think is not you're not gonna spend your money on that? Let us know. Leave a comment below. Subscribe. Support us. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, friends, stay nerdy.